Hello, John.
Hello, Oliver.
And so today we're going to talk about the presidential debate, the first debate. Heather Humphreys, Jim Gavin, Catherine Connolly, they faced off, and it was quite a lame affair. What did you think yourself?
Well, I think it was, and that seems to be the general opinion that I've come across, and a wide range of people who normally would be, would like to see a good debate and all the rest of it. But this is the first time in my memory that there was only three candidates, all associated with the governing parties or the parties in Dáil Éireann. Gavin, Mr. Gavin is a Fianna Fáil nominee, and he's known in the GAA circles from being a former manager of the Dublin team and that, so he'd be well known in sporting circles. And then you had the lady from the West of Ireland. She, I think, was a former Fianna Fáil minister or a minute or representative, and she has the support of the Democratic left and the people against profit and all this sort of thing. So she's singing from their hymn sheet about integration and all the rest of it, and welcoming all sorts from all over, that type of thing, and it's causing problems. And then you have Heather Humphreys, who was a minister and all the rest of it with Fine Gael, and her contribution was considered very poor. Now, Mr. Gavin, I think, was over, what's the word, rehearsed.
That's right.
And I think when we started first, we had an individual that every time you made things, he was, oh, you can't say this and can't say that. And with the result, it was very stilted. And if you like, sort of rehearsed. But as soon as that party disappeared from the scene, and as we evolved, we didn't have any rehearsals. You were able to do the research as regards the subjects. And with my age and experience, I didn't need any rehearsals. Just at the same now as we're talking about this presidential debate, and I think it doesn't augur too well for all these parties in Dáil Éireann that they didn't see fit. There was a fella called Mr. Casey. He was a businessman, I think he's from Donegal, and very successful. He fought the last presidential candidate election, and all the rest of it, and yet they couldn't get that nomination. So, to my way of thinking, these political parties in Dáil Éireann closed and instructed the county councils not to support them either, and to meet county councils, what would I call it, disgrace. They voted 16-15 not to support anyone. And I think one of the candidates, well, he was a newcomer from America living here, but strong candidate. He had to drop out. Mary Steen, a writer in the Irish Catholic and a barrister, and married with five children, and was considered by a lot of people to be a very credible candidate and very well able to, when she was interviewed a few times by RTE, they might have been trying to be strong, and but she was well able to conduct herself. So that was a good indication that if she got the support and was in this debate, it just shows you the paucity of, or the, what would I call it, the lack of commitment that these three candidates have, all members of political parties. So it has got the thumbs down from nearly all the people I come across, and I come across quite a few. So that's the upshot of the debate. So, what do you think? Was there anyone that seemed to be better than the other, or whatever you like to call it, bearing in mind that they're all from political parties?
Yeah. So what I think is, I think first of all, when you think of a presidential candidate, we're always thinking in compared to Michael D. Okay, so Michael D has been a very good president. He's an intellectual. He's quite interesting. He's entertaining as well. But the thing is, and we're in some ways we're kind of comparing, the outgoing and the incoming potential nominees. So Heather Humphreys, anyway, I thought she was composed, but I thought she was lame. I think Jim Gavin should probably stick to sport. He's not suitable to the political sphere whatsoever. And that became very obvious when he was on the debate. Okay. Catherine Connolly was the strongest of them all, but she did criticize military spending. And it's the wrong time to do so when everybody in their homes around Europe are terrified of what's happening in Russia and Ukraine. She's talking about cutting military spending. Which I don't think would go down well with a lot of people. I think, look, overall, there was only three candidates, and that's where the problem is. There's a kind of comfort in all the three that there's only three of them, and they don't have to make the effort. It certainly came across that way with Heather Humphreys. She just looked as if
Well, I think it came across that way with the three of them
yeah.
because they're all associated with political parties.
Hmm.
Now, that is a very negative thing for this government that we have of the we'll say the 40 shades of green because there's no one there's three parties I think propping it up and a few independents propping it up like a lame duck and the thing is about them that this is their the this is these are the parties that have a children's hospital in James Street. If you wanted to pick the worst site in the country, it would be James Street. It's not a healthy environment. How is people going to visit? So we won't go into that. But these three candidates are from political parties, and they're so inept. It's unbelievable. To my way of thinking, I don't think anybody could put pen to paper and give any of them a vote. And normally I never missed a vote in an election, but I like a choice. I certainly the three that have come forward. Uh, in all sincerity, I don't think I could vote for any of them. They're from political parties, and it shows you if they couldn't have a debate and show conviction and foresight and all the rest of it, like the way we do when we're doing our videos, we're not making water and you don't know where you stand. And even when I do my live videos, I'm not rehearsing or anything. But the thing is, I'm able to speak and have some conviction. And you need that. And I saw a complete absence of that. And if you haven't got conviction now, Mr. Gavin was a football, so he must have had conviction to get them to put their best foot forward. But he'd want to have shown that on the thing, and because they were all political nominees, they didn't have that need. And when you mentioned Michael D. Higgins, and he was fairly good, but when he went first, the man that was streets ahead was a fella called Sean Gallagher, and he was streets ahead. And at the debate, you had Martin McGuinness from the Six County. You had a whole heap of them, and a whole heap, and all trying to score off each other. It was a lot different than what we had there the other night. But Sean Gallagher was the leader, and then it turned out it was going to be only a need for the next nearest to him was Michael D. Higgins, and for the two of them to have a debate. But this Mr. Gallagher put his foot in it. He was ill-advised to sort of suggest that all the candidates be in the same thing, which I thought was the stupidest thing I ever heard, because Martin McGuinness tried to hang him and was completely what he had to say was completely wrong. Pat Kenny was the in RTE was the front man, and his agenda and his instructions was to destroy Sean Gallagher, I think, and he won compensation subsequently substantial from RTE for the biased way. And somebody in the audience that we never heard of again, a former Fine Gael one, made allegations completely untrue. But the harm was done before the election, and there was no time for retrieved, and I think the chap Casey comes second. But I thought Sean Geller come second, but
Okay, well,
maybe
we're going way
Casey
off,
did.
John. We're going way off there. We're talking about a previous. Let's stick to
Yeah,
what
well,
we're
I'm
talking
talking
about.
about how D. Higgins, if it had a went, he mightn't have been elected at all, and he only indicated he was going to stay one term, that was 7 years, and then we decided to say another 7 years. So he didn't stick to what he said. He
Okay.
said he was going to do 7 years, so he did 14. And he was a bit ill there during times, but he recovered, thank God. But he did a good job by and large. But he would have been portraying the left agenda when he did. But he was otherwise he did a lot of other good
What
good.
I will say in
Sorry?
favor, what I will say in favor of Michael D. Higgins is that he encouraged and inspired children to get involved in politics because his biggest fans are kids because he's small.
There you are.
Okay, you see, okay.
Yeah,
So he inspired a lot of people, especially teenagers and children, and they all warmed to Michael D. And that's a very important thing as
that's
well, you know.
good. Yeah, yeah. Well, he did, and he was around in different venues in the country, and he did well. But he just made one little slip up, my view. And his New Year's message, normally in the Catholic country, it might refer to God, but he never did. To me, that'd be not a good thing to do. But be that as it may, he was good enough. Nobody is perfect, I presume, and he was good in many ways. And we wish him well, and his wife. Um, um, she's I can't just think of her name at the minute.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and so he'll be heading in for the hills now in October. This October, the election's coming. My voting card came this morning, so I'll be well. I hope I'll vote because I never missed a vote, and I don't want to start it now
I think
at my age. You know.
I think it would have been a bit more interesting if they had at least one more candidate. And of course, the one I'm thinking of is Maria Steen, and unfortunately, she didn't get the nominations.
Well, she
Necessarily.
nearly did, but
Mm.
I thought she left it late. But suffice to say that it would have been good if there wasn't just Mary Steen, there was Mr. Casey, that man, and maybe three others. So it would have made it. It would have put the other ones. Might have given them a bit of a jizz. The Heather Humphreys and this other lady from Galway, and supported by the people before Prophet, and and then Jim Gavin, the former manager of the Dublin football team, and pretty successful, I think. So if you're successful in something, it might all go well. But it's a pity that it's just three like that. If there had been three other ones as well that had got sufficient nominations, it would have made it more interesting, and there would have been a better discussion, I think. But as it was a damn squib.
Absolutely. Look, I think it was very, very lame. Probably the worst I've seen, most uninspiring. And I think, look, they need to change the whole system, and that's been in the media multiple times. And hopefully, the whole system of nominees and the whole lot will change and how we organise the elections
Yeah, but
to put people
I think
forward.
I don't know what instructions will come from this crowd that's running the country, but they should have sort of made it possible for other candidates that had put their names forward, Mary Steen and I think Mr. Casey was quite another man. So if you had three other candidates in, it would be more of a democratic kind of a thing. But these are all appointees, or these are all political animals, particularly from particular parties and with experience. But I don't know how they manage to be ministers with what I saw.
And
I
there we
didn't
go,
see any
John.
the conviction that you need to have. It looked to me as if I just thought to myself, they got elected, and that's the only reason that they've got and but from a constituency that it would give them maybe a bit of a boost to have be a minister and maybe get another candidate in as well. So it's all about getting candidates elected, but none of them have any much parties. Fianna Fáil is 37 or 38 or something. Sinn Féin the same, and then there's another party, and then there's the Independents.
I
So
think
it's very peculiar.
I think the three-legged race anyway looked really, really bad, John. It looked so lame that you'd almost think there's a predetermined outcome. That's how bad it was watching it.
You would, yeah. Well, it's unfortunately whatever conviction they have, they didn't display it. And when you have a chance like to be in the thing there, so whether it was the interviewer inept putting the questions the way they did, you have to bring out whatever qualities these people have as individuals to try and bring it out. But and then they had a chance to talk themselves, and it didn't, to me, make what I call a good fist of it.
There you go.
So that's the way the cookie crumbles, and we'll see what happens. But it's it hasn't got much support from anyone that I come across. They thought it was a very poor affair by way of debate, but the fact that they're all connected with political parties doesn't.
Oh, well.
You need a few more ordinary individuals that got support, and I think this crowd that's around the country want to wake up and have make it more democratic.
Thank you very much, John.
Thank you very much, Oliver.